Hi guys! Today is the third and final day of the rally. Now I am kind of glad there isn't a fourth day. And that's not to say that I haven't enjoyed the rally or don't find it interesting, because I really do. I think it's an awesome event, and for the few of you guys who are actually from Denmark, I would highly recommend that you sign up for next year's rally. But I am getting a bit worn down by all of the talking and all of the sessions and basically just all of the information. So I think 2 or 3 days is probably the sweet spot for an event like this, for me at least. I had a quick peek at today's schedule before getting in the car, and it looks like there are at least 2 sessions that are going to be very interesting to me. The second session today is going to be about alternative energy aboard, and as a few of you guys may know, I am planning on installing a 180 watt solar panel aboard Obelix. Today's third session, I believe it is going to be about how to make a bit of income or revenue while cruising. And as I would like to go cruising full time, a bit of income is going to be a necessity. So fingers crossed for yet another awesome day with a lot of useful information. The first session on the third day was about preparing for the psychological aspects of long-distance cruising. Some key points were: don't be afraid to admit if the reality of cruising changes your dream. You might have told friends and family that you want to do a circumnavigation, but if you change your mind, don't be afraid to admit it. Another one was to make sure that everyone aboard shares their hopes and dreams. It's not a given that everyone's dreams are the same. During the second half of the talk, the woman giving the talk focused on experiences from her own cruising life. It was actually a very interesting talk, which at the same time provided a nice break from all of the technical sessions.
Så gør vi det. Og det ene måde er selvfølgelig bare at putte nogle flere batterier i, en større generator, flere vindmøller og hvad næste kan få ting og så. Men man kan også på den anden måde sige, hvor kan jeg skære ned?
The second session was about alternative energy aboard. Lots of useful information. For example, when buying LEDs, be sure that they can handle the entire voltage range aboard. Some of the cheaper LEDs out there apparently don't have a voltage regulator built in and expect exactly 12 volts. Besides the cautionary tale of choosing the correct LEDs, other topics that came up were choosing the correct gauge of wire, the benefits of using tin wire, and the benefits of using something like a bomber regulator when charging your batteries with the engine, rather than simply using the regulator in the alternator or generator. When I at some point need to replace my batteries, I'll definitely look into getting something like a bomber regulator. The third session seemed like it got cut short due to time constraints. I had hoped to hear about different ways of making money while cruising. For example, doing day labor on big yachts, writing blog posts, doing YouTube videos, stuff like that. Instead, the focus was on why bringing your work with you when you go cruising might not be ideal. There were a lot of good points in the talk, but mainly if you regard cruising as a vacation and not as a sort of full-time way of life. A part of my dream is to be able to sustain myself while I go cruising. I don't regard what I want to do as a vacation. There were still a few good points in the talk that would apply in my case. For example, the way we live on land is optimized to allow us to work a lot of hours each week. The same is not necessarily true about life aboard a boat. Topping off your water tanks, doing laundry, or simply going shopping for groceries. All these chores take up more time aboard a boat than they would on land. This means less time to do the work you were hoping could provide income.
Så der jo mange, som også... Det er jo et stort
The fourth and final session was a short addendum to the talk given on day 3 by the crew that went through the Northwest Passage. It focused on some of the benefits of being a part-time cruiser. By that I mean 6 months cruising, 6 months home. This session brought attention to some more of the ridiculous rules here in Denmark. Remember the 3-year rule that forces you to pay taxes on your boat when re-entering the EU after being away for more than 3 years? Turns out there are a few more rules that are just as ridiculous. I'll go into more details in one of my upcoming videos.
gerne have, at man i hvert fald lægger penge i Danmark halvdelen af året.
That's it for this year's rally. It was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of useful information there, and some wonderful people too. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're from Denmark and you're into cruising, I highly recommend that you sign up for next year's rally. So it's probably gonna take me a few days to edit each of these videos. And that means by the time you're watching this video, we'll be a lot closer to next weekend. And I am actually considering starting my next liveaboard test next weekend. So stay tuned for those videos. That's it for this time, guys. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. See you!